Alright guys, welcome back. This is the third and last round of this pre-release event. We're 1-1 right now. If you watched the last video, which I assume you're not watching this video if you didn't watch the last one, then we kind of got crushed at the end of a very long game, and I'm not sure I played it completely well, but I would love to play first. This is fine. Outnumber's not very good, and we can't cast Stone Fury for a while, but it does have both of our main colors and this Sentinel. So, it is fine. It is fine. Alright, another blue deck. Lots of blue drafters. Alright, that was the worst possible draw. Not actually, but a blue card is not great. Would rather draw an island first than a blue card. Another blue-white player. Wow. Guess I had access to all the red. That does give us mana for Stone Fury. We might actually get reprisal this time. But I'm going to run into it. No Gideon's reprisals. Alright, our hand's a little slow here. I haven't seen anything from the opponent yet. Please don't be a Sky Spawner. Oh, Evolving Wilds is fine. That means we're probably not going to see a 3-drop. And that's a pretty good draw as well. So we've got a very reactive hand and one dead card currently. Hopefully he plays something I can complete disregard on my turn, so that I can get the pump off of it with Kozilek's Sentinel. Alright, that's 3 colors from the opponent so far. Don't know what the main colors are. Probably blue with that. Alright, tap out for something I can kill. This could be the 2/3 flyer with flash. But that does not look to be the case. Alright. What's the word, guy? What are we doing? Alright. It's a minor annoyance. Does get complete disregarded though. Wow, terrible. Awful, awful draw. Alright, I'm going to attack. And get rid of your guy. And this means I'm attacking for 2. I feel like I'm going to get sheer dropped on my next turn. Or something like that. Feels like that's what my opponent set me up for. Is a huge awaken spell. Sorry if y'all can hear my roommates in the background. An island would be a great draw here. Alright, so my opponent's probably ramping into a lot. I can currently kill a 6 toughness creature. Island. Okay, that's fine. My opponent could have the flyer again. But at least this Sentinel pumps my other Sentinel. Spell Shrivel? Oh. Okay. Guess that's not the worst thing that happened in the world. Alright, my opponent can cash in his archive for 2 cards, which means I need to start drawing either my blue mana quick, or drawing both these incubators was terrible. It sets us back so much because we're essentially 2 cards in hand. Outnumber doesn't do anything right now. I wouldn't mind hitting Grip of Desolation because it can take care of that swamp. Alright, opponent's going to get rid of our thing. And maybe a processor. That's what it feels like. Yep, that is exactly what that felt like. Alright, we might have to Stone Fury that thing. Gets back complete disregard. That's a good turn for my opponent. But if we snipe off that black source, it works in our favor. Worse things could happen on 9 mana. Our opponent's going to have to use that eventually, so he might just use it here to attack in for 2. Yep. That exiles a thing again. Works very nicely. Reclaimer is one of the processors I really like because it's essentially Wall of, or not Wall of Omens, but Mnemonic Wall with power and toughness. Alright, that's pretty good. And once it gets countered, that would be awful. If you have another horribly awry, shame on you. If this resolves, I can outnumber this shadow dude. Should wait a turn, because then I can outnumber a 4-drop, but I'm going to do it now. Alright, opponent has 1 card in hand. Well, also has the Hedron Archive, so... Alright, he's going to draw. So 4 cards in hand. 3 with lots and lots of mana. I have 2 cards in exile. 5 Angel Renewal. Okay, that's fine. It gains him some life. It's a real card. Ooh. So because I drew that, I don't mind using Stone Fury to kill this Angel. Which I'm going to do right away. And pass the turn. The threats my opponent can deploy are much worse than the threats I can deploy right now. Again, Grip of Desolation would be great though. Opponent has tons of mana, 10 mana. So I guess if you have a Dual Mog, you would have cast it. Alright, so let's get this second Incubator drone down. And then Gruesome Slaughter is enough to pick off this Reclaimer next turn. Not exactly how I want to use it though. Very good draw. Alright, so I'm going to attack with both both of these. And I'm not going to use Grip of Desolation yet. My opponent has hit massive flooding. Alright. That is fine. So nothing happens really. $11 mana on the other side. 8 on my side. Well, 10, but 8 lands. Sure. Evolving Wilds does thin my deck a little bit. Alright, play something. Wow, another land from the opponent. Is there an X spell in those colors I need to worry about? I don't think so. And I didn't Evolving Wilds. Alright, this is a really embarrassing match right now. Sure. Alright, so that must be the Black Splash. It's Sire, Stagnation, and what's it called? Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control. So I do not want to evolve in Wilds. But I will get rid of this and that, assuming this doesn't get countered. I can pay for Spell Shrivel. Counterspell. Alright, either my opponent was just trying to get rid of one of my Scions, or they forgot that I can use the Scions for mana. Not entirely sure. Alright, let's thin the deck a little, get another island, I suppose. And then we'll have 6 lands left in the deck. Opponent off the Black Source, but I feel like, ooh, very good one. Having a flyer here is huge. Opponent on 2 cards. Oh, look at that, another swamp. Alright. The pump is still active on that ability, though. Opponent had nothing in hand. Ooh, that's good as well. Because it gets me a swamp. I would love to. Let's see, do I swamp this turn? I don't think so. I like having Gruesome Slaughter plus the pump available on this vampire thing. Opponent plays land number 13. Showing me that he has a land for some reason. -3/4. Awesome. Options. Play this land this turn. I could Gruesome Slaughter, kill his guy, but I like holding up Gruesome Slaughter in case he plays another thing that's big. Just gonna attack him with Pilgrim's Eye. And Swarm Surge would be an insane draw as well. Yeah, not worried about your Mist Intruder right now. This might be the turn to just Gruesome Slaughter. I can go... If I do, this becomes... And I play a Swamp, everything gets pumped. No, I want to save the Swamp for a huge hit, so... The Mountain will give everybody a boost. And maneuver this Gruesome Slaughter so that I can still attack this turn. That also pumps the Sentinel again. Alright, so the best way to do this then is go here, hit that. These two hit that, and then attack for 3. That clears off his board completely, so he has to top deck. And then I'm in a very commanding position with a swamp in hand for next turn. Opponent at 11. Alright, so my opponent is a very controlling deck. as Esper colors usually are. And he plays the Shambling Vents. Alright, do we have game here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait, hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Definitely. I was thinking in between the breaks, because that was a good game. Too much flood on both sides, really. But I was thinking in between the breaks that, like, Ruin Processor, not Ruin Processor, but Conduit of Ruin, its second ability is good, even if you're not using the first one, but it's just an undercosted 6-drop. But I was thinking it works very well with Gruesome Slaughter. Like, it's just a 5 damage spell. Did we see a lot that dies to Rising Miasma? Not really. We barely saw any creatures at all. The flyers are good. He has Titan Coils, which unfortunately we're not in color to deal with that. Swarm Surge kind of gets through. We have to be weary of him playing counter magic. And I feel like this is the type of match where Desolation Twin could come in, because of how grindy and long it's going to go. I have lots of removal for his few creatures. I don't know that I actually want to cut anything, though. Conduit of Ruin also has the bonus in this match of making my things cost less, so that if they get spell shriveled or something, then I have extra mana available to cast them, or to pay for spell shrivel. But I honestly just don't think I go in on this plan. I really don't. It's a consideration, but not really. I'm considering Swarm Surge. Dutiful Return. Sounds dumb, but Dutiful Return could be good here. If he's going to be Gideon's Reproaching. We didn't see too much from our opponent. Some flyers. Not too much that I'm going to change things up that much. I'm going to keep as is. I'm going to keep the Vampire in this time too. Do we have a keep? Definitely think so. With the 2 Sentinels, Outnumber and Bone Splinter should be good to keep off any early game aggression. It sucks if we run into Complete Disregard, but that's going to happen a number of times anyway. And I don't mind drawing just lands here for now. Mist Intruder would be annoying. Fortified Rampart's fine for now. It does a pretty good job of what it's supposed to do. That blue source is a nice draw. I'm not worried about the Rampart, because even though it blocks very well, it only blocks one thing, and we're going to spread out. Or at least the goal is to spread out, so we're going to ignore it, and it's basically just going to fog one of our creatures when we get to the point that we're attacking. Alright, he has a Sky Spawner. That is a good card. Worth considering Rising Miasma for. We have a Bone Splinters that I don't quite want to use yet. I also just don't love the idea of outnumbering right now. So I think on the following turn I might outnumber the Sky Spawner. That block on the Scion to me indicates Gideon's Reprisal. So I'm going to double block to try and clear that Scion off. If I block with just one, it gets through. Weird. Well, that's a good one. That might be worth outnumbering 2. And that is also a good one that blocks well. I'm fine with one of these trade-in for this thing, because that's one less removal spell I have to use. I think the way I'm going to beat his deck, the best way for me to beat his deck is to just clear off his things and make sure I have more cards than he does. So maybe he wants to take 4, or, well, no, he's going to block 1 with it. He probably just takes 2 and then attacks me back for 4. Silent Skimmer does nothing with Gruesome Slaughter, which is weird. I do have the mana to outnumber Bone Splinters if I absolutely need to do that. Because I feel like next turn I'm going to outnumber one of these, Bone Splinters 1, and then probably keep this Skimmer back. But it depends on what he plays, of course. Alright, that's actually... Oh, well, I'm blocking the Sky Spawner, so... Ooh, Ruination Guide. So maybe we do that. Maybe we outnumber Splinters. And then keep back, like, Skimmer. That's a live draw as well. Because this Skimmer can still deal damage. Alright, we need to think about this turn, because I think getting Pilgrim's Eye down is good. It blocks both of his flyers right now. Yeah. So... Ruination Guide has to die this turn. So I'm going to go grab another Swamp. That way I still have the option to Bone Splinters. Ideally, I would like to get a Mountain there. I also get in 4 damage this way. Because there's no way he just trades Ruination Guide. Yeah, ideally I would get a Mountain there in case I draw Stone Fury. I can cast it, but that's fine. Also, normally you would Bone Splinters the dude who has Tightening Coils, but this thing still does damage through Tightening Coils. And it's reliable damage. It's always going to get through. So, outnumber this while you're tapped out. And then, I don't think I need to Bone Splinters yet. Pilgrim's Eye is going to try and trade for one of these things. And if he uses a spell on Pilgrim's Eye this turn, that's great. Alright, not too worried about that. Huh. Alright, there's a good one. This Gruesome Slaughter is looking better and better every turn. So I can attack with this. No need to jam Pilgrim's Eye. Attack with these two. Again, I don't feel like he might get to the point where he trades that bat for one of my Sentinels, and I'm okay with that. He goes down to 12. Blocks one of them with the Fortified Rampart and either takes another 2 or trades that bat. But I don't think he trades the bat. Oh, trades the bat with that. That's fine. Oh, that doesn't trade, actually. So that was dumb on my part. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, he's not going to block that thing. But yeah, guess what? He did. Alright, so the plan next turn is to Gruesome Slaughter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Currently, I can Gruesome Slaughter everything on his board. Because Gruesome Slaughter will grow these to 2/2s. And you can go 2, 4, 6, and then 1 and 1. And it's not a fight, it's a one-sided fight, so that Death Touch isn't relevant when I do it. I would like to see him tap out for something here. Or maybe he just draws 2 cards. Yeah, that's fine. No, he's going to actually cast something. Ruin Processor. Alright. That doesn't really change my plan too much. Oh, actually it does, because I need to draw a land to Gruesome Slaughter in the first place. Alright, well, Ruin Processor is getting Bone Splintered this turn. This thing is coming down, though. I guess when I was doing the math, I was including that Scion. But I would need to sack the Scion to do Gruesome Slaughter, and now it works out with 2 extra damage on board. Let's go ahead and Splinters. Oh, no. I think I just targeted my Scion to die. So choose this, sacrifice this. Opponent's going to have to Hedron Archive, right? And again, we'll jam with the same creatures. It's getting to the point where my opponent's going to have to block with that Death Toucher. Take 4. Nope, there it goes. So still take 2, trade a creature. I'm in a very commanding position right now. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage off of Slaughter. Well, technically 7 unless I draw a land. Alright, opponent passes. Well, we drew the mana to do it. Question is, do we do it? Don't really need to. Opponent could have counter magic in hand. Then I'll just jam with the team. Get in for 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4 at minimum, and kill his Sky Spawner if he blocks. I could also see if the coast is clear by Bone Splintering that Sky Spawner. Because I feel like he doesn't have anything, or he has Spell Shrivel. If he has Horribly Awry in hand, it doesn't do anything. Let's try it out. See what you got, if anything. I only get in for 1 damage this turn this way, but... Alright, he's going to draw 2. See if he can draw a counter spell, I think. Yep, you can have your 2 cards. I like Hedron Archive, I really do. I like it more if I have a lot of huge things to cast, but... Alright, my spell resolved, so... Pilgrim's Eye says, eat that. Clear off this thing, which has been on the board the whole time. But I think... I made the right call on not doing anything with it, not Bone Splintering it. It's a fine card, but I'm never happy playing that sort of card. Because, I mean, sometimes it does very well, but against decks like mine, you just go wide and run into it. Alright, so we got there. I thought our deck was great. The last matchup, I could have played it differently, I think. Maybe killing one of the healers a lot earlier or something, but it came down to top decking, and my opponent top decked extremely well, and I top decked very poorly. But this match, I think the blue was a nice addition with these guys, even though you know, it didn't always work out, but the deck was sweet. It was very sweet. These Sentinels are like the real deal, and I thought they sucked. Like, I thought they were legitimately bad, but no, that is a lie. I like these kind of synergies. I like the Devoid for the most part is flavor text, but I really like the decks that have them Devoid as their like central theme. So that's really black, blue, and red are the ones that benefit the most off of it. Black has Swarm Surge, which is a good finisher if a lot of your creatures are colorless. Red has Nettle Drone being, I think, the big one, and what is it? Vile Aggregate is an incredibly good uncommon, and blue has Ruination Guide and the one that gives +0/+1 to all your colorless creatures, as well as just fantastic colorless creatures like Incubator Drone and Sky Spawner. So you'll probably see me in blue a lot. I've played a lot, and I end up in blue every single time. I honestly don't think I've drafted or played sealed yet without running blue, and I've played maybe 7 or 8 different sealed or draft events, but the blue's just very powerful. Cards like Clutch of Currents and Sky Spawner are way above the rest of the commons. Green is another card I like, and the only... Honestly, I'll wrap up the video here in a minute, but I don't like red unless you're in the Devoid theme. There are a lot of red creatures like the Belligerent Whiptail and the Valakut Predator and the Slide Runner. Well, not Slide Runner, he's fine by himself. But cards like that that are not... They're very good when you're hitting your land drops, but they're not good when you're not. I don't like those kinds of cards, and I think that kind of deck is easy to beat just by trading early and then running your opponent out of resources, because it's going to get to the point where your opponent needs to be drawing creatures to maintain a board state, but they're also going to need to be drawing lands to make their creatures good, and that just you can't keep that up forever. What is this? Alright, well, sure, I'll take that, I guess. Pretty sweet. Alright, so 2 packs. That definitely helps pay for the next draft. This draft was free because I won the last Legacy Cube draft, which was 150 play points, so this one is free. The next one won't be, but it'll only be about $5. But yeah, we'll talk more about it next time. Leave comments. I'm really curious to see what you think of this set yet. I feel like I'm rating cards a lot differently than a lot of people. Usually I'm on par with like the consensus on certain cards, but I've deviated a lot in this set as to like what's good and what's not. But I'm enjoying this set so far, and I will be drafting it a lot, so keep your eye out for the videos. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and leave some comments so we can talk about it. I love talking about new sets and seeing what people's perspective on the cards is. But anyway,